Public service announcement. Don't ever ride inside your travel trailer. I saw the water hardness improved drastically. A bunch of the other parameters in there, and I'll show you the 3 different test strips I have. I had a jar of honey, a brand new jar of honey, fall out of the cabinet and crash on the floor, and I didn't check it for another 2 hours, and honey was everywhere. One other quick drawback, and you may find this with any filtration system, it's not just this BluTech filtration system, but any pressure coming out of the ground. We're out checking out some mounds.
Temple Mound.
Yeah, they're really cool.
And Earth Lodge is what we went into.
You might notice this little serpentine safety barrier. Not always an easy feat getting in and out of these things. We're kind of in a hurry because the park's closing in like 7 minutes and we got a 6-minute walk to get to the car. Give us the play-by-play, Blair. It's a very, very nice tour. You get to go through the bowels of the stadium and the dugouts and all the ins and outs of all the cool things in the stadium. I'll never come back home. I'll never come back home. Hey everyone, in this video I'm giving away this really cool device. It's a tire inflator and a jump starter all in one device, and it's very small and very handy. Stay tuned to the end to find out how you can win it for free. Public service announcement. Don't ever ride inside your travel trailer while it's being pulled down the road. I got an email the other day, and it's been across social media and all the places, but some lady fell out of an Airstream driving down the road. And it made headlines because she fell out of an Airstream. Don't ride in your trailer. And here's some reasons why. Like, it's noisy and creaky and loud and very, very dangerous because there's no way to hook yourself into any kind of seatbelt or any kind of safety restraints. And this thing moves all over the place. Everybody, this is my GoPro that I had in the rig when I was driving down the highway, and I just want to show you something real quick, how smooth this footage is. And if I rattle this like this, I just wanted to show you that GoPro shaking as much as it was, it smooths out the footage exceptionally. And I'm very close to the counter here doing that. When I had the GoPro in here, I actually clamped it onto this wall right here, so this was the view, and it was from back here so farther away, but it moves around. And if you're ever feeling saucy and really want to know what it's like, whenever you're backing into a camp spot or pulling out of a camp spot, or going from your campsite to go dump tanks or something like that, where it's a very short, very slow drive, maybe one of you and your travel partner, whoever that is, sits inside the rig for just that piece. It is very uncomfortable. Even just pulling across the parking lot to get gas or in and out of the thing, you don't realize how much this thing moves, and it's not safe to be in here. Similarly, like, I know all of you, like us, have landed at your campsite and walked in, or stopped on the road somewhere and walked in after hitting bumpy roads or bumps or holes or bridge, whatever the things are. There's millions of miles of road around this country that are horrible. And you've gotten in your rig and you found clothes off the hanger, you found doors flopped open or dishes on the floor, or whatever else. The worst thing for us to clean up was Blair wasn't with me when this happened, but I had a jar of honey, a brand new jar of honey, fall out of the cabinet and crash on the floor, and I didn't check it for another 2 hours, and honey was everywhere. Oh my, was it ever a pain to clean. Anyway, secure your things. You know, we put pillows in all of our cabinets. We take all these pillows around here. We put them in upper cabinets in the hallway closet. We put them in these closets to keep things from bouncing around. Whatever dishes and things we have up top, we put a pillow on top. We soften the rattling of all of our cabinetry with pillows, and it does make a big difference.
I've seen the hills, I've seen the clouds, I've seen that.
All right, everybody, as promised, I was going to do a review on the BluTech filter and water softener. So BluTech makes a 2-stage filter and they make a 3-stage filter. I have the 3-stage filter. Really, all it is as a longevity feature. So water coming in, it's a longevity feature. Then you have your 0.2 micron, and then you have your tasty filter, they call it. So it's the 3 different filters. You could probably get away with the 2 filter if you use the standard hose filter on the other end, the Camco. There's a bunch of different brands that make them, but the standard hose filter, it would probably make this filter not necessary, but it's nice having all the things together. So I tested all the water coming out of this spigot. We're in Florida, which has pretty hard water all the time. So the water hardness improved drastically. And I did this 3 ways. So I did it with just water out of the spigot, water with one of the standard Camco water filters, inline water filters that I've been using for years, and after this and this. So I saw the water hardness improved drastically. A bunch of the other parameters in there, and I'll show you the 3 different test strips I have. And the taste improved drastically. And a couple other things that I like using this for is I don't get hard water stains on the inside. I don't have calcium buildup on the inside. I don't have all that kind of stuff. So taking a shower, cleaning the shower is much easier. Getting shampoo out of your hair is much easier. The taste, like I said, the taste of the water, it made a huge difference. So I'm very, very impressed with what this thing does. Do I think it's necessary? I think it depends on where you camp and where you go. We have found many of our parks, many campgrounds have okay water, and I'm not displeased with the taste of the water or the quality of the water. Like I said, I test the water. As soon as we pull in the campground, that's one of the first things I do is test the water before I hook it up to the rig. The water softener makes a big deal if I ever want to wash the rig, because if you get hard water stains on this thing and let it sit for a long time, they're super hard to get off. So I like having the water softener. Also, this alleviates hard water buildup in your water system, particularly your water heater and that kind of thing. So it makes cleaning your water system much better. If you've watched this for any time, you know that I bleach my system every 6 months, and then I offset that by 3 months and bleach it, use vinegar every 6 months. So basically January and July, I use bleach, and the offset by 3 months, I use vinegar. And I let those things sit in the water system for a while and clean out our water system, because we're in it all the time. If you're only using it a couple times a year, maybe before you put it away for the winter, for the season, or you know, right as soon as you get it out, make sure you clean out your water system, sanitize your water system. So many people I find do not drink out of their fresh water tank, and I don't know why. If you sanitize the system from after you got it and then you put water in it, that's mainly what we use. Well, another drawback to this system is if I'm just going to fill up my tank and have to fill up my tank over and over again, which is kind of what we do because we're on the go all the time. So I like having water ready to go, and I never know if we're going to pull over for the night and camp at a harvest host or a parking lot or something like that. So I like having water in my tank, particularly when we travel. When we drive around with about 50% full of water in our tank anyway. If we're going to sit somewhere for a long time, and by a long time I mean more than 10 days, I will hook up this water system and let it sit outside, which brings me to my point today. I've only used the inline water filters for the whole time I've been camping. So over 12 years now, I've lived full-time in an RV. And we have traveled all over the country and been stationed all over the country and doing different things with the RV and using that water system. And I've never been displeased with it, but I was able to get this system here, and I bought this. This is not a sponsored by anybody. This is Brad paid for these things. And they're not cheap. So that's what I get to, is it worth it? If you are very concerned about water filtration and water quality and water taste and things like that, I think these things are well worth the money. If it's something like me, you drank out of a green garden hose growing up as a kid and you're used to that warm rubber taste and you don't really care, like probably the standard inline filter is good enough for you. Or you're somewhere in between, maybe one thing is good but you don't need the water softener. This is very nice and very handy and very small, and you can get a carrying case. If you purchase this from Air Gear, it will come with a carry case, which I think is pretty cool. But this thing will fit in your storage compartments on the outside. That will not unless you lay it on its side, and I don't like doing that because you have to drain the water out to let it do that. So that's the drawback, and that's what I have this thing here for today. What I'm going to do is drill a hole in the side of this so I can have a water hose go in. I can put the filters in there, I can put the water softener in there and have the water go out the other side, and I can store my water hoses in this bucket. It took me about 3 tries to find one that would fit all this plus my water hoses. So these flexible, these are made by the EvoFlow is the name of the hose, but they're super flexible drinking safe hoses. This one is not a very flexible drinking safe hose. And then you've seen multiple times I have the 0G water hose that I use all the time. I didn't include any of this back when I did my what do we carry around video because I wanted to use this system for more than a month to verify that it's something that I would recommend. I never talk about stuff that I don't recommend. I never talk about stuff that I don't use unless I specifically say this is something I do not recommend. So again, unsponsored, I bought all this, but I'm going to continue to use it because I think it's a wonderful system. I would not return it. I've been happy with it. I've been happy with the water quality and the safety and security, knowing who knows where you're going to go, that you always get good water. Hey everybody, as I filmed that video, it was, I think, the very beginning of April when I did that. At that time, I had been using that water system, water filtration system, and water softener for about 4.5 weeks. It is now the end of May, currently Memorial Day weekend as I'm editing this video, and I just wanted to do a quick follow-up. We have continued to fill our tanks and continue to plug into water systems and do all that stuff with this BluTech filter and softener. And I have been very, very, very happy. So those blue flexible hoses, I did upgrade my big long hose to one of those. And I still have my 0G hoses. The reason for the hard rubber hoses or the flexible hoses, not 0G, if you leave a 0G hose hooked up for a long time with pressure, it'll start to sieve and start to leak. I typically just use those for short duration filling and put it away kind of things, or washing the rig or doing something like that in short duration and put it away. But if I'm ever going to hook up to the water spigot and leave it sitting there with pressure on it all the time, I use one of those other hoses. And those very light blue flexible hoses, those things are fantastic. If you want to follow along, I'll time lapse me drilling holes in this and I'll talk about it afterwards. And if you wonder what I'm wearing, it's just a weight vest is all it is. I just did a little workout over here. So this is a Hyperwear weight vest. I have a bigger weight vest. Big fans of their workout gear. So if you're someone who likes to stay fit and carry things around with you, they have all sorts of fitness equipment. Hyperwear. You can find a link to it on our Amazon page if you're interested. And big fans of the company and big fans of the people who run it. So thanks Hyperwear for all that you do for my fitness. Alright, you can see that the lid does fit on here. This allows me to keep all of my water things in one spot. So I have my gravity fill station here. I have all of my water hoses, and the water hoses and both these devices will fit in this one box. So I've got all of my water needs right here. One other thing that I haven't really addressed or just talked about in a long time, we haven't used this in such a long time, but this is a 30-gallon collapsible bladder. And if we're boondocking somewhere and I happen to be driving into town or to go visit a national park or something like that, I can always fill this up, throw it in the back of the truck, carry it back out to where I'm going. So the collapsible bladder is really nice, but then you kind of say, well, what am I going to do with my black and gray tank? So have to be mindful of all your water usage wherever you go. And depends on what you need the water for, but that's an option. And it's drinking safe also, and I'll have links to all this stuff in the video description down below. But it's a nice option. I like the system. It's You know, pros are your water is awesome and you don't have to worry about that, and it will keep your rig free and clean of any kind of debris and craziness that might come from the water system. Cons are, the number one con is price. It is not cheap. This whole system is quite expensive. These hoses are expensive. The BluTech stuff is quite expensive, but you get what you pay for. It's quality gear that will last a long time. You have to back flush your water softener every, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, depending on how you're using and how hard the water is. And you have to reapply regular salt. You can go to the grocery store and get a good box of salt and put in there, and that will replenish the system. Your filters are every 3 to 6 months, again, depending on how you use it and where you use it and with the quality of the water you're getting out of the ground. I don't know the cost of the filters yet. I've not had to replace one, but so far I've been very happy with the system, except for the cost and the storage space. You need somewhere to put all this stuff. If hard water is not an issue and you don't need the water softener, just the filtration system, particularly the two-sided filtration system, will fit right in your outside storage compartment and easily in the back seat of your tow vehicle or in the back of the truck or in some compartment like this. But I like this box because it allows me to keep my water softener, water filtration, and all of my water things in one location, protected and covered. So something you want to consider, please do. I'll have a link to the system and all this gear in the video description down below. And before anybody asks me, this is a coax cable. I've got it hooked to the ground cable because where we are parked currently, we only get a few channels over the air, but they have cable here. The over the air channels are really, really nice that we get, and they're very clear. The cable is not very clear at all, but we were trying to watch some show that was on, and I had to hook up the cable. These things are called Rapid, and I'll have a link to these. I use these to wrap up my water cords, power cords, any kind of cords or any kind of thing long. I use these. But I've got it attached to the power cord so it doesn't pull down, because this thing is not very secure in there and I don't really care for it. And it's one of the things that I need to get. I can get to the back of it, but I got to take the closet apart to get to the back of it to tighten it up. So I didn't want the cord pulling down on it. Same with smart plugs. I wish they would make a 90-degree right here instead of this straight out business, but whatever, it works. And I am a big fan of the smart plug compared to what it used to be. We will continue to use all the water filtration system and filling our tanks unless we're going to be parked somewhere for a while. So I've used this to fill tanks. I've used this to be parked for a while. I've done it both ways, and both ways are quite handy. If I'm just filling my tank, I won't even take it out of the back of the truck. I can run a hose to the spigot and run my other hose over here to fill this, so I don't even need to get it out of the back of the truck. But it's cumbersome. That water softener specifically is heavy if it's got full of water. The other one's not that bad. So this whole system is probably heavy and cumbersome, but I can pick it up. It's part of my workout routine everywhere we go set up. So one other quick drawback, and you may find this with any filtration system. It's not just this BluTech filtration system, but any pressure coming out of the ground. If you don't have a gallon per minute of flow rate or I think it's 45 or 48 psi coming out of the ground, it will not actuate your water heater. So most people find issues with that only at the kitchen sink. The bathroom sink, the shower, all that stuff works typically well with a water heater, but the kitchen sink, because it's so far away, sometimes you have to go turn on the bathroom sink to get it to come out. Or the best thing you can do is put a little bit of water in your tank and turn on the water pump, and that will help pump the water pressure through to actuate. And again, that's specifically for the kitchen sink. I found it over and over and over again for our rig, and many other people have contacted me asking me about it. Water heater works fine at the bathroom, water heater works fine in the shower, but it does not work at the kitchen sink when I'm hooked to city water. So that's one other thing you have to deal with. But again, mitigate that by filling your tank and then turn on your water pump, and it will alleviate that water heater issue at the kitchen sink. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for joining, and happy adventures. We then made our way near Atlanta, Georgia. First stop there was the Mounds National Historic Park. It's a really neat place, and it's shocking that it's that close to a major city. You wouldn't think so, but the history there is really cool. This map shows all the other mounds, known mounds around the country.
I found my doubts. I just pray one day I figure out what is it I'm missing? What should
Wow.
Traveling on this world so long.
We're out checking out some mounds.
Temple Mound
Yeah, they're really cool.
and Earth Lodge is what we went into.
And these things are kind of scattered around. We're going to see some more around this summer. The serpentine is the one I'm really interested in up in Ohio.
It's in Ohio.
Yep. But I didn't know all this stuff was down here. Like I knew there was some in Mississippi, but I didn't know there was some in Georgia. And the railroad has destroyed quite a few of them.
Yep.
In the 1800s when they were industrial revolutions, making progress, but destroyed some of these mounds.
Yeah, they cut like right through them or beside them.
Yep. We're kind of in a hurry because the park's closing in like 7 minutes and we got a 6-minute walk to get to the car.
Ah!
Early the next morning, we went over to Marietta, Georgia. Beautiful town square. It works. Downtown here is where we met Mina and Taylor, the brilliant minds behind the AirShades. If you haven't seen our video on that, please check it out at the link above. From there, we took a trip to Truist Park, home of the Atlanta Braves and the surrounding area. This is a new field and a new town, and it is fantastic. The way they have built the support structures around this stadium and all the restaurants and fun things to do around the stadium are really cool. So go check this out and take a tour if you get a chance. What's up, Blair?
Do you want to hold my wallet?
The holder of the things?
Yeah.
Why don't you bring it?
I mean, it was in my pocket, but I shouldn't have. All right.
Tell us what we're going to do.
I'm going to go on a tour of the Braves Stadium.
The new Braves Stadium.
The new Braves Stadium. And that's all I know about that.
The Lego Tomahawk.
Yeah.
A city where our national pastime is all time. A city where the light shines bright and the stars shine bright. Here, we're home to the greatest athlete and the great nuts. Home to America and the team of the 90s.
Give us the play-by-play, Blair. As America's longest continuously operating franchise in Major League Baseball, the Atlanta Braves have plenty of history, and this stadium is packed full of that. Particularly the Monument Garden, where they show all sorts of history, and the Hank Aaron Terrace, where they show his bat and ball from his record-breaking home runs. It's about a 1.7 mile walk and takes about an hour and a half to do the whole tour. It's a very, very nice tour. You get to go through the bowels of the stadium and the dugouts and all the ins and outs of all the cool things in the stadium. So, very neat thing to see. Highly recommended. Our next stop was Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Park. Dr. King grew up in this area during the segregation era, and you can visit his home of his birth and see where he played as a child, walk in his footsteps, and hear his voice in the church where he moved hearts and minds. This guy was an amazing instrument for social change. For anyone who's ever visited many of our military bases around, you might notice this little serpentine safety barrier. Not always an easy feat getting in and out of these things while pulling a trailer. but it's possible. Just gotta take your time.
I'll never come back home.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Now the details on how to win this really cool device. If you haven't seen my review, you can go onto our YouTube channel and search for it. This is the name right here, in the AX260. I did a review of this product and shows you how to pump up tires and how to do all the things it does. It's very, very handy and very, very small and can easily fit into your car anywhere or camper anywhere. So how do you win? You go to our website, click on the Contact Us link at the top, fill in the information there, your name, email address, and just type in the name, tire inflator, or any combinations there. 72 hours after this video releases, so this is Sunday morning at 8 a.m. that this video is releasing. Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. is when I will do the drawing. For the drawing on Wednesday morning at 8, I will release a new YouTube video and across all of our social media channels on the winner, and I will reach out to the winner and get their shipping address and send it off to them. If you don't win, or if you're interested in checking this device out, check out the video review that I did on it, and you can purchase your own there. There's a link, and I'll also have a link down in this video below. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for continuing to make us a part of your adventure. We love you all. Can't wait to see you on the road. Happy adventures.